Real esoteric spirituality without all of the fluff, without all of the nonsense. This is the ThunderWIzard.com YouTube channel. Click subscribe and then hit the little bell button so that you can be notified whenever I've uploaded a video or when I'm doing the live Q&A videos. So you are a spiritual seeker, a spiritual practitioner, and you want to work from home, you want to work for yourself, and like me, you want to make money doing something that you would do anyway. I have two avenues for you to make money doing what you would do anyway. The first is astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com. You can learn my specific, very unique niche of Vedic astrology, and then if you become certified, I will put you on the astrology.thunderwizard.com page, and people will see your beautiful face. They'll click on you and they can get a reading from you. Like I said, this is easily the most profitable service that I have in my arsenal for myself. Then you'll get your own webpage, joeschmo.thunderwizard.com, and people can go there when you want to give out readings. Now, if you have other things that you want to list on there too, you dog sit, you are a masseuse, you do tarot readings, I don't care what it is. As long as you give me the information, I'll put it on your page. People go to joeschmo.thunderwizard.com, they can see everything that you do. There's another way that you can make money as a ThunderWIzard.com student, and that is runereadings.thunderwizard.com. Same thing applies there. If you become certified, there's over 36 hours of rune videos that I have on there. All of my rune videos, both public and private, that you can learn from. If you become certified, then I will put you on the runereadings.thunderwizard.com page, and once again, you will get your own page, joeschmo.thunderwizard.com. If you're already an astrologer, you'll have your astrology information, your rune reading information, whatever other things that you want to promote for yourself. Listen, I am not here just to sit here and teach. I'm here to create teachers, and I'm here to teach people who are called to do so to make a good living, sharing the information that they would study on their own anyway. That's how I make my living. I can teach you how to do that. These are two ways to do it. So if you want to get started with that, go to astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com if you want to become an astrologer. If you want to become a rune reader, go to runecertification.thunderwizard.com. Okay, enjoy the video. Okay, so today we're going to be doing a free 9-world rune reading, and then we'll be interpreting that. This is a live Q&A, so if you're watching this after it's been archived, then no, of course, you're not able to get the free reading. So if you're watching and you're on, I am going to be letting you know how to get a free reading from me, but this is the free rune readings. We do this every now and then, and it's to promote the pages that we've already talked about, the rune certification. It's the second one up here, runecertification.thunderwizard.com. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me do a little bit of business here, and then we'll go ahead and I will be giving you a free rune reading and teaching you about how to do, if you want to do it yourself, how to do a 9-world spread. It's one of the most succinct and powerful rune spreads that I've ever done. It deals with the 9 worlds as well as also dealing with the 9 aspects of your personality. It gives you a snapshot of a situation, or if you have a question, it gives you a very balanced and very complete picture of the energies behind this. It's it's easily the most powerful rune spread that I'm aware of. So we will be starting that in just a second, and go ahead and enjoy when I get myself together here. Go ahead and enjoy the little intro here. Okay, ThunderWIzards, welcome. So we're going to be doing a free rune reading today. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to be doing the reading. So first let's talk about, just very briefly, we've talked about it before, but we'll just give a brief introduction here. The 9-world rune reading. So, as you know, if you study or have studied anything that I teach, then you know that I use the thunder wheel, which looks like this. This is how we do all of our rituals and all of our practices. This is not something that I've made up. This is after studying with multiple indigenous traditions from all over the world. I find that the same 8 directions correspond with the same energies. So runes deal with the ancient Germanic tradition, most well known as the Norse tradition, the Viking tradition. They also believed in a 9-world system, that the universe was made up of 9 different dimensions, the center of which is where we are now, called Middle Earth, or Midyard, Middle Yard. And so when we put runes in a 9-world configuration, similar to this one here, and we apply it to the 8 directions in the center, then we get a very precise understanding of what is happening either in that person's life, or if this is a divination according to their question. And for me, I find runes to be extremely powerful. And you know, the difference between like a rune divination and other kinds of divination, I won't get specific because I'm not masters of them, but we're not here to tell you, oh, tomorrow so-and-so is going to come to your house and this is going to happen for you, this, and you know, you should get married on a Tuesday. This isn't what the runes do. Like, is she going to marry me, or is so-and-so going to die? This is not the kind of thing that runes do. Runes tell about the energy of a situation, and the runes, because they're fire, they prod you to take action. And so they're telling you what the energies are and what the actions are that you should take. In fact, in the 9-world rune reading, the rune in the south is telling you what actions you need to take in order to either achieve what you want or get the most out of the situation. So we're going to be doing that. Again, let's take a look at the 9 worlds very briefly on the Thunder wheel. If you're new to this channel, then you need to go to my website where all of my books are, which can be found, where is that? Is that here? Yeah, right up here, the third one, michaelwilliamdenny.com. Go there and look for a book called, if you're new to this whole idea of the 9 worlds and how they can be used in the Thunder Wheel, go to, I think it's Thunder Shamanism is the name of the book. The Indo-European Medicine Wheel, Thunder Shamanism. Go to Michael William Denny, look for Thunder Shamanism, and that way, if you're not familiar with how pervasive this science is throughout multiple traditions, you can read about it in that book. I won't take the time up here to do that now. We talk about that again. Let me just make a brief little statement here. If you're new to the channel, even if you're not new to the channel, I strongly recommend that you learn how to search from within somebody's YouTube channel. You know, different, like a phone and an iPad are different. On a desktop, I know that if you see on the top there, there's a search bar. That goes for all of YouTube. But if you scroll down on somebody's page, you have to be on their YouTube page. Scroll down the page, you see where their name is, there's a little magnifying glass. If you click on that magnifying glass, a second search bar will come up, and you can search for anything you want within the person's channel. So on mine, you can search for runes, you can search for the 9 worlds, Thunder Wheel, shamanism, you know, whatever it is that comes to your mind, mantra, you know, whatever. If you punch that in, then you can find out all this stuff is on there. Look at all the playlists as well. It's really important that you be proactive. Don't be your typical YouTube watcher who sits there and just is you know, led by the nose, who doesn't have any discipline, you know, just does whatever YouTube tells you to do. And you click on this and you click on that. People ask me questions all the time. Do you have a video on this? Do you have a video on that? Do you have a video on this? It's like, well, if you knew how to search within my channel, you wouldn't have to ask me. Just go and look for it. So if you want to learn, especially if you want to learn from me and you want to be successful in your spiritual work, you are going to have to learn how to be self-motivated. So I just had to get that off my chest, as I often do. All right, so we're going to do a free rune reading today, and here's how it's going to work. For those of you who are live listening to me, in order to get the free rune reading, here's what's going to happen. I am going to pick a number between 1 and 50. You have to choose a number between 1 and 50. I've already decided what it is. If you're psychic, you already know what it is. You're going to, the person who is the closest to the number that I'm thinking of is going to get a free rune reading. So I'm going to give you a little bit of time. When I say that's it, no more guesses, that's going to be it. Whoever guesses it. So we're going to take another short break, and you're going to pick a number between 1 and 50, and the person who is closest to the number that I'm thinking right now is going to get the free reading. All right, so let's see. Let's take a look at this. Here's something that I haven't shown today. So we'll take a couple minutes and you can watch this, and while you're coming up with your number, we can watch this. What first caught my attention about Celestial Qigong was how incredibly simple and easy to do the moves were. My teachers taught me that the most advanced high-level energy work was always incredibly simple. I have been practicing and teaching Celestial Qigong for over 25 years. And listen, I could tell you what the benefits have been for me, but why don't I let you hear it from some of my students, average people just like you, who have been practicing this ancient and transformative energy practice that I call Celestial Qigong.
Hi, my name is Antonia, and I want to start with emphasizing that I'm not being paid for this testimony. I felt the benefits of it after my first session. But what really blown my mind was how powerful this practice is. Was one night when I was really sick, I caught a flu. I couldn't breathe, I was tired, I was fatigued, my bones were hurting. And after I was finished with my clothes down, the sickness was gone. I was no longer feeling tired or sick or fatigued. My bones weren't hurting anymore. I could breathe. I was energized and super happy, and it was like magic. It really was.
Hello, I'm Greg. I wanted to talk about Celestial Qigong and what it has done for me. And the first time I did it, and I think after about 3 or 4 movements, I remember this look on my face going, whoa, I'm feeling a lot of energy here. Wow, this is amazing. It really helped me to start having visions. I mean, I'm talking about actual visions right behind my closed eyelids. And it's just really amazing what it's done for me.
Hi, I wanted to make a quick video of a testimony of my experiences with Celestial Qigong, which have been nothing short of miraculous and amazing. It is a peace, a union, the ability to manifest what I want, that I am in true total control of my life.
Hello, my name is Maclovia. I have been practicing Celestial Qigong for about 6 months because I was having depression. It has connected me to my higher self. My 9-year-old does it with me, and he says every night, "Mom, Qigong was good tonight."
Okay, so we're back. All right, so somebody actually did guess it. So no more guesses. That's it, no more guesses. Whoever is closest to the number that is in my head, which is actually the exact number of people who are watching right now, interestingly enough. One person that I can see, I'll go through all of them, but one person did guess it exactly. So we're not even having to see who's closest. Gremnor Thomas got 36. Let's see if there's another 36. I don't see a number. There's a 37. Ooh, somebody just missed it. Greg was off by 3, very close. All right, so Gremnor Thomas, that's it. We're going to be doing a reading for you. So here's how this is going to work, my friend. You are going to, is that what I want? Yeah. So here's what you're going to do. You are going to decide, and I don't want to know. So I don't want you telling me anything yet. But you are going to decide whether or not you are going to ask a specific question, or you can also have a specific focus, like love life or work or whatever. You don't have to. You can also just not have a specific focus, and then the ancestors and the gods will then just tell you information they think that you know. So what I am going to be waiting for is I'm going to be waiting for you to tell me. There's a little bit of a delay, but I want you to tell me when you're ready. So if you have a question in your mind to focus and you're ready to go, I want you to type in, "I'm ready," and as soon as you do that, I'll start. If not, we'll take a little bit of time while you do that. So again, so there might be a couple of things here to address in the meantime. Primus Omega says, everyone says I'm certified already. Drum crash. I get it now. He says he's a nutbag. I get it. Joel Ellis says, I've never seen a medicine wheel with as many spokes as the thunder wheel. That's why I don't call it a medicine wheel. I call it a thunder wheel. But there are medicine wheels that were done on the ground that had more spokes than that. You know, medicine wheels were also like, you know, like, you know, the Native American version of, you know, standing stones. There was rocks that would go in many, many different spokes. So medicine wheel, you know, we could get into that, but, you know, it's very hard to find a specific medicine wheel tradition that is consistent. There's all these, everybody's different, you know, what means what where. So we're dealing with the thunder wheel, and this is found in multiple traditions in the Vedic, in the Taoist, and also in the European, specifically the Norse tradition. So let's see now. So let's see if he's ready. Are you ready? Or Gremnor Thomas, have you told me that you're ready yet? You have to tell me that you're ready, otherwise I don't know if you're still here. So see if there's anything else I can address here. Crone Woman Walking says she's given $2. Thank you. I appreciate it. By the way, if you want to support the channel, the best way to support the channel is to go to the top one here, ThunderWIzard.com. And even if you subscribe at the $25 level, you will get access to, I don't even know how many, I think we're in the hundreds now. Hundreds of videos of high-level Master Shamanism teachings that I don't do on the free channel. That is the best way to support the channel, because that is ongoing. And that is something I can look at and say, okay, I know how much money is coming in, and that'll tell me how much time I can spend doing these videos. When I've got to the place where that's all I have to do is videos, that's all I'll be doing. I can spend 4 or 5 days a week doing videos. So that's the best way to support it. Go to ThunderWIzard.com for that. So let's see here. Gremnor Thomas, he's ready. So now we're going to go ahead and do the reading. So what we're going to do now is I am going to do the reading over here on this table right here. Then I'm going to take a picture on my phone and upload it here while this will all be happening in real time. So Gremnor Thomas, be thinking about whatever it is that you have decided you want to do. Let me pull my table over here so that you can see me while I'm doing it. So what I do is I use cards. Doesn't matter what you use. This is one thing I found. You know, if you want to be really traditional, you can do the traditional thing and carve out runes onto pieces of wood, or specifically onto pieces of bark. But I found that the runes work however they work. The only reason that is, I think, the most traditional is because, you know, 2,000 years ago, we know that they did this because Tacitus very clearly talks about how they made runes. He doesn't call them runes, but it's very clear that's what he was talking about. Tacitus is a Roman historian, by the way. This was 2,000 years ago, and the reason why they did is because that's the technology that they had available to them. We have all different kinds of technology now, so we can use cards, we can use all kinds of other things. So I use these because when I'm doing phone readings, which I don't do anymore, but I used to do psychic phone readings, I could shuffle the cards and they thought I was using tarot cards, and I didn't have to tell them I was using runes because, you know, some people didn't know what the hell that was. So here's what we're going to do. Gremnor Thomas, I want you to take a deep breath and hold it, and let's ask Odin for his wisdom. Shuffle once, cut the cards, turn them around. Exhale, inhale once again, and this time hold it, and this time we'll ask Vili for his power. Shuffle the cards and then cut them and turn them around. Exhale. Take one last breath in and hold it, and let's ask for Ve to give us sacred spirit. Exhale and relax, and now I'm going to put the runes out in a 9-world rune reading spread here. So I start with putting one in the middle, then I put one at the top representing, the middle represents Middle Earth, the top represents the mist home. The top right represents Asgard in the northeast. The middle right represents the east, where we have the giant home. And in the bottom right, the southwest, this represents the dwarf home. And we put one in the bottom middle, which represents south and is the home of the fire demons, Surt. Then we go to the bottom left, which is the underworld, the southwest of Hellhome, the underworld. And then we put one in the west, which represents Vanaheim, the gods of fertility. And then we put one in the top left, which represents the elf home. Okay, so now I've got all 9 of them there. So what I'm going to do now, so I can put it up to show you, is I'm going to take a photo on my phone here and then upload it to my computer. So let me just do that very quickly. Okay, there it is. Photo taken. All right. Now let's move this out over here. And then I upload it to my computer. Okay, so there's that. And I airdrop it on my computer. There's my iMac comes up, boom. And it airdrops. Okay, now I have it, and now I take it. I want to make sure that it's going to be that way, so I may have to adjust the picture. Let's see, I'm going to rotate it. Anyway, we'll see if it fits, because sometimes what I use here kind of gets confused and it puts it on its side. So let's see if it's going to do that. Yep, it did that. So I can fix that in here. So let me get rid of this. Okay, and then let me take, where'd it go? Come back here. Sorry, hang on for just 1 second. Come on, picture, where did you go? You are in the downloads. There you are. All right, so now I'm going to put this up here. There we go. Then I click on that, and now I have to rotate it. Okay, and then I have to make it smaller. And then I put it up here so that we can all see it. Okay, and so there we are. There is your rune reading right there. So now what I do, those represent all of the 9 worlds. Again, it's mimicking the thunder wheel. If you're not familiar, take a look at the thunder wheel again. Okay, you got that? So in the center is where we start. We start in the center, and the center represents all of the other 8 runes combined and the effect that you are experiencing. So the center rune represents you, your physical body, your experience of whatever's going on. So remember I said I didn't want to know if you had a question or not, and that's because I don't want to be influenced in my reading. So when you do these, you can tell your client, if you have a question, go ahead and ask it. Don't tell me what it is. You don't have to have one, but if you do, go ahead and ask it, and then say, don't tell me what it is. That way you're just looking at the runes, and it will give a much deeper reading. And also, when you don't know, that means that your intuition, your psychic powers are tapping in deeper. When you think you know what's going on, then that tends to block it out. So when you don't know, then you're open, like the Ehwaj rune, and you're allowing the gods to mount you and to work through you. So now let's see here. So we're looking at the center rune, which is Fehu. So Fehu represents Middle Earth, represents you. Fehu reversed, Fehu Merkstave, which is reversed. So Fehu means cow. Cow represents resources. Just on the surface level, it represents money. So if we are talking about money, then it's going to be talking about that. This is your personal experience. So your personal experience may be that you do not have enough resources. If this is about something else, like you're thinking about a job, then the job is not going to pay a whole hell of a lot. If we're not talking about that, then it means that you don't feel energetically supported, which, by the way, is what money is all about. Money no longer represents anything. Even when it did, it wasn't about what it represented. Money used to represent silver and gold, but even then, you can't eat silver or gold. You can't even wipe your ass with it. It's just a symbol that you use to get you the real stuff, which is fehu. Fehu means cow. And 2,000 years ago, the Germanic tribes didn't use money, they used cows. If you wanted somebody to build you a barn, you gave them a cow. You wanted to marry somebody's daughter, you gave them a cow. You know, and that's why we get the English word fee. Fee. What fee does he charge? How much is the fee? Fee comes from fehu, because that's what we used to use for currency. We used to barter with cows. That was like the main thing. So the thing that you need to understand about money is that you could have a bank full of money and still not have resources or feel energetically supported. You can be, I know because I've been there, you can be broke and still be provided with a place to live and with food and with a car, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's not about how much money you have, it's about the energy that is giving resources to you. So whatever we're talking about, you have this experience that you lack resources. I'll know more when I find out from you if there was a specific thing. So from there, let me see, do I have that? Yeah, I have that. Okay, so moving there to the top middle. The top middle there is in the north, which is the mist home. This represents energy that is coming to you that has not been completely manifested yet. So you might be feeling this, but it's about to come into full manifestation. The mist home represents, in the thunder wheel, the north, it represents energy that is just coming into manifestation from the void. So it is as close to the void as we can get while being in physical manifestation. This is why the waters of the mist home are poisonous. You can't go and drink that water, it'll kill you. Why? Because it's not manifest yet. It's, you know, it would tear you apart because it would unmanifest you. It would, you know, when you're manifest, you are specific, you're limited, but when you're just pure potential, you haven't manifested yet. So this is coming to you. It has not come into your life yet. You may be starting to feel it. And this is the rune Ansuj. Ansuj is communication, and it is reversed. Specifically, it means divine communication, but it can also just mean communication between people. If you're doing like a rune reading on a relationship and this comes up like this, Ansu is reversed, it means that there's a lack of communication or no communication at all. Maybe blocked communication. So here, without knowing more, what I can say is that this means that your communication with your higher self, your communication with the gods, and quite possibly your own communication is either blocked or completely non-existent here. Or whatever it is we're talking about, the communication is blocked or non-existent. And that means unless we do something, or, you know, sometimes we can't, but unless we do something, it means that the communication is going to be blocked here. So one of the things that I've noticed about the north rune, the mist home rune, is if it's a blocked rune like this or a challenging rune, then we may be giving a chance, we may be given a chance ahead of time to flip that around. So we're going to do a little advanced shamanism work right here to see what we can do ahead of time. So we're going to go to the rune wheel. If you're not familiar with that, that's taught in my book, Advanced Rune Shamanism. And so let's take a look at the rune wheel and see where Ansu's is, and then we're going to look and see directly opposite, what rune is directly opposite it, because that's what we're going to use to counterbalance this blocked communication. So did you see that Wunjo was directly in the northwest in the elf home? So the elf home and the dwarf home have a direct communication. Dwarves, which is your emotional reactions that are in your subconscious mind, in your navel, that is influenced by the elves, the ascended masters. And when we are receiving information from the Ascended Masters that comes to the higher self, immediately bypasses the middle self, which is the soul, the conscious mind, and goes directly to the subconscious and the unconscious in the navel center. The navel center then, if it is clear, sends that message directly to the soul. And the soul then makes a decision based on that information. Now, if you have unresolved emotional, psychological, or karmic issues, then that communication could get blocked there. It could also be misinterpreted, and your narcissism can send you the wrong message. This is why, just because somebody took ayahuasca and had some mind-blowing trip, it doesn't mean that the information that they got is accurate. Because you don't know, because what happens is you went into your unconscious mind, which is where a lot of information is stored. So it's not that that's not a helpful thing, because if you're able to go to your unconscious mind and you are clear, you will get clear information on who you are and where you're supposed to go and what you're supposed to do, and you might receive information and communicate with a being. But if you're wrapped up in your own psychological narcissism, then you could very well just simply be deluding yourself. Okay, so that's important to know. Anyway, so we've got Ansuj reversed. We've got Ansuj reversed in the north. So when we want to balance that, again, we take a look here. Sorry for the confusion. We take a look here. Directly opposite in the northwest is the rune that will tell us what to do to balance that. And that rune is Wunjo. Wunjo is not just joy. It represents, in my experience, Wunjo represents the camaraderie, the warmth, the love that comes from camaraderie with friends and family. So the thing that gets people opening up and talking, which is Ansuj, is when they feel safe, when they feel like they're in the presence of family or friends or the Ascended Masters, the elves. The elves are all about getting you to open up and listen. Listen to them and listen to yourself. So if whatever communication we're talking about, whether it's your communication that's blocked or somebody else's communication, the way to open that up is through camaraderie, connecting to people that you care and trust with, and this will turn this around. Now, we may not be able to turn this around, but that is still something that should be done. So I'll know more when I ask you what it means. Moving on, we see here in the northeast, the top right, we have the rune connected to Asgard. Asgard is your superconscious mind, and this represents your hopes, your aspirations. It represents your religious beliefs, your dogma, that which gives you inspiration, which is when you worship the gods, you are in awe of their power and their brilliance. So it represents your inspiration, your aspiration. And here we have Laguj. Laguj is Merkstave. It is reversed. Laguj represents deep emotions, the wellspring of emotions. So here, this means that in terms of your aspirations, in terms of your inspiration, your goals, your hopes, your dreams, you are stuffing your feelings. Your feelings have been stuffed down. You're not allowing yourself to experience the vulnerability of whatever your feelings are that you have towards here. So this is a problem, and I can already see why the communication, which is divine communication, is blocked. You're stuffing your feelings. You need to be honest. If you got to cry about it, let it out. Be scared, be sad, be angry. You've got to have those feelings. Otherwise, the communication between you and the gods is going to stay blocked. Okay? So I'm getting distracted because I'm seeing some red numbers. Hopefully I'm still, okay, we're still good. All right, so I'll know more when you tell me why, what your focus was. So let's move down to the center right rune. And here we see, right there, the center right rune. Oh, wrong here. But center right rune. It's backwards, so I get confused. Center right rune right there. That is in the east, which represents the giant home. The eastern realm represents your identity. This is what the giants are all about, by the way. The giants represent narcissism and tunnel vision, selfishness that doesn't take into account anybody else. That's why they're giants. That's why they run around stomping on houses and picking people up and biting their heads off. That's why in the Greek tradition they are called cyclopses. They only have one eye. They only have one eye because they don't see two. They can't relate to other people or empathize. So that's the extreme, which is the giants. But when it's in its proper place, it represents your identity, yourself, which is very healthy. You have to have a sense of self, otherwise you cannot function. And as we see, we're going clockwise. And so clockwise, we're going from the north to the northeast, and then we're hitting the east, which means that one of the first things that happens when you are forming in the womb is that you begin to get a sense of self, identity. You're no longer this infinite spirit. You're this limited human being. So here we have the rune for this this particular area, which is the rune ThunderWIzard. So this is exactly where we want this to be. ThunderWIzard represents boundaries. This is the rune of Thor. When Thor goes off to fight the giants, what does he do with these beings that are totally narcissistic and have no boundaries? He fights against them, meaning he creates boundaries. He is the protector of the human race. This is his entire function, is to create boundaries, both in science. Physically, what keeps me from falling through to the center of the earth is the electromagnetic force, which creates a boundary between molecules. Without it, I wouldn't be able to sit in my chair. So this is, again, Thor, the god of electromagnetism. He creates boundaries. He protects. This means that whatever we're talking about here, you are empowering your boundaries, and this is good. So I'll talk more when we get to the east, which will represent how you give yourself away. What you are giving to yourself right now is boundaries, and this is healthy. Moving to the next rune down in the bottom right. This is the rune of the subconscious mind in the dwarf home. The subconscious mind is where you hold all of the information that you need, but you're not thinking about it. My address, my phone number, my social security number, my driver's license number, my mother's birthday. I don't know what that is. You ask me, but immediately I have the answer. It's because it's in a file cabinet in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, from a spiritual perspective, is the muscle through which we create our reality. And that is when you are meditating and you're imagining what you want in your life, or if you're just daydreaming and imagining what you want in your life, it is the subconscious mind that is projecting it out your third eye, which will eventually create your physical reality. And here we have the rune Othal. And Othal is Merkstave. So we've got a few Merkstave things. There's a lot of stuff going on with you. I'll be very interested to hear what your specific focus is. So Merkstave Othal means at the very least that you feel ungrounded when it comes to manifesting what you want. Or a very slight chance is you are thinking about moving. Because Othal means home, and so when it's reversed, it could mean a physical move. So you're either feeling ungrounded, which means that you can't really get a footing on what to manifest, or you are actively thinking about moving. I'll find out more when I ask you what's going on. Moving to the bottom center rune, this is the south of the realm of the fire demon. This represents action. Fire represents action. And so this is the action that you either are taking or you need to take to get what you need. And here we have El-Haj. El-Haj is not reversed. El-Haj represents spiritual energy, the kind of energy that you get through yoga, through Tai Chi, through Qigong. It means spiritual power in terms of your aura. And so it's very important for physical health, but El-Haj is a weapon. It's a weapon of self-defense. So this means that when your aura is strong, that you have defense against not only bacteria and viruses, but also psychic attacks, other people's intentions and feelings, your boundaries. And so this is why I talk about Qigong all the time, because without it, you won't have any boundaries. It represents the shaman with his arms up in the air, and he is channeling heaven and earth, and as this energy comes together, it expands outside of him and surrounds the whole village. So when the shaman is doing his ritual and talking to the gods and connecting, he becomes a conduit through which all of those around him become protected. So this is El-Hajj, the power of protection. This means that either you are taking this action and or you need to be. So doing ritual and doing things like energy work, Qigong, yoga, whatever it is, even just going out into nature and breathing deeply will give you this power. So I'll know more when you tell me what your focus is. Moving to the bottom left in the southwest. This is the underworld. This is the home of the goddess Hela. This is Hela home, the home of Hela. And here we are dealing with the unconscious mind. So, as you know, I teach that the unconscious mind is extremely important, and anything going on in the unconscious mind is going to have a huge effect on everything else. And here we have an interesting rune. We have Nauthij. Nauthij is need fire. Now, bear in mind that the unconscious mind is what you are not consciously aware of, but usually you feel it. So you may be feeling trapped. You may be feeling blocked. You may be feeling anxious because you feel like something needs to give, and you may not be aware of what that is. But Nauthij, unlike Perthro, which Perthro means that's it, it's over, this is a karmic ending. No matter what you do, this relationship is over, this job is over, this life is over, it's done. It feels like Perthro, but it's not. Nauthij says, yes, you keep hitting this wall, but what needs to happen is that you're not thinking outside the box. So whenever Nauthij comes up, you have to ask yourself, what have I been doing? What do I keep doing over and over and over again? And I keep getting this stupid result. You know, and you keep trying to fix it by doing the same thing over and over again. So you have to go, what can I do differently? And so Nauthij represents a course of action or a mindset that is completely foreign to you that you would not normally think about. But you're so desperate to find an answer that eventually you try something totally cockamamie that doesn't make any sense to you, but it works. And just like the discovery of fire, which is what this rune represents, just like the discovery of fire, whoever figured out how to rub two sticks together or put a spindle on a stick and do that in order to create that spark, he must have really just tried absolutely everything, because that doesn't, that just doesn't pop into my mind. You know, if you're a caveman and you don't know what to do, you go, let's see, to start fire, I know, I'll rub two sticks together. No, you tried everything and you were just desperate. All right, I'll try two sticks. Ow, that's hot. Oh my God, it started to spark. Let's try that. And then you spent a lot of time figuring out how to create this spindle thing, and you spent hours, getting blisters and sweating. And then it worked. And then once you figured that out, it completely revolutionized your whole life. So this is what's happening here with Nauthij. Nauthij is saying on the unconscious level, there is a major shift going on in your unconscious and you feel blocked, but you have to start asking yourself, what can I do differently? You may not even know the answer. You just have to ask yourself. So if you're stuck and you don't know what to do, just spend the rest, just every conscious moment going, how can I do this differently? What have I not thought of? And just try every weird idea that comes to your mind, because one of them is going to break and open up. And then, as you know, without the discovery of fire, we wouldn't be where we are now. We'd still be crawling around in the dirt, eating grubs and, not living, driving cars and looking on internet and cell phones. This is all the result of the discovery of fire. Okay? Moving on, let's go to the middle left. This is the realm of the Waynes the Vanir, the gods of fertility. This represents how you give to others. So if the East represents how you are empowering yourself, to your own ego, the West represents how you take that power and give it to the world. If we're talking about a relationship, how you give it to your partner. And here we have Yuhuaj. It's spelled E-I, and people want to call it Eyuaj. It's not. We already got a rune called Echwaj. Yuhuaj, the EI is just because we no longer have a letter like that to represent the U sound. Not the U or the E or the I, the U sound. So Yuhuaj, so is the U tree. That's why we call it U, because we no longer pronounce it right. U. Yuhuaj represents involuntary transformation, conflict. So when it comes to giving to others or to whatever we're talking about, you are in major conflict here. It is you might be fighting with somebody, you're definitely fighting with yourself, but it feels like it's killing you and you're really having a hard time, you're really conflicted. So I can see here from looking at this that you're really focused on your own protection, your own boundaries, and this is causing a conflict to the point where giving to others or giving to whomever is just such a conflict, it's driving you crazy. But this also means transformation on the most dynamic level. So the thing to do is eventually you will learn how to give from yourself, but you're going to have to go through a death and a resurrection before that happens. Moving on, let's go to the top left, which is the elf home. And there we have a rune which the elves love. The elves are the ascended masters of the human race. They no longer need to be incarnated, and they stand at the gate to infinity, and they look back and they help humans to become like they are. Whenever you get an inspiration from the elves, whenever you get a message from the elves, it's always very subtle, it's always very positive. The elves never yell at you or criticize you or put you down, but they will say in some cases, hey, listen, when you do this and this to yourself, this is what happens, and this is how it affects others. When it's going well, the elves will say, hey, this is, very subtly, this is very healing for you, this is very healing, and it heals others. So their influence and their advice always has to do with what's best for you and best for others. And here we have the rune Gebo, which means to give. Giving is an interchange. It's an exchange of energy. When you give somebody a gift, they give back to you by accepting your gift. The worst thing you can do to somebody is refuse their gift. That's why in some cultures, you refuse a gift, they'll kill you. It's the most absolutely rude thing you can possibly do. So when somebody accepts your gift, that's the gift back. And really the person giving the gift is the one who benefits the most, because being vulnerable enough to take a gift is in itself a gift. I remember saying that to somebody not too long ago. I gave them, pretty valuable gift, and they said, I don't know what to do. And I said, if you really want to honor this gift, then do me a favor. Give me the gift of just taking the gift that I've just given you and using it. That will make me feel good. That will be your gift to me. And it was very difficult. Some people can't handle being given things. It's too much for them. So this means that I'm focusing on receiving gifts, so I don't know how that's landing with you, but the elves are saying, listen, the best thing for you and for others is to have this spirit of Gebo, this spirit of giving and receiving, of an exchange of energy. That's different from what we're seeing in the West here, which is in terms of giving to others, there's a conflict. So the way to overcome that conflict is to just go ahead and to give and or receive. Okay? All right, so now that I've looked at all of them, the next thing I want to do is I want to look for 3 runes in a row that might be Merkstave. And there's 1, 2, 3. There are 3 Merkstave runes, 4 Merkstave runes, but none of them are in a direct line. So that's good. If we saw a direct line, let's say from the northeast to the southwest, that would be a big issue there. That would mean there was a huge unconscious block. If it was across the middle, that would mean that there was a huge problem in terms of your identity versus how you relate to others. So we don't have that, but there is enough here to say that there's some significant issues here. And the closest we get is from the northeast to the southwest. And the first 2, Laguj and Fehu, are reversed. And then in the southwest, we have Nauthiz. Nauthiz isn't reversed, but it feels like it's reversed. So it's functioning that way, which means that your major problem is in the unconscious mind, where you are stuck doing the same old thing. Bear in mind, this is hard because this is the unconscious mind. You're not aware of it. There's a pattern. There's something that you learned as a kid, as a toddler, that was false information. But you learned it in order to survive. It helped you to survive your childhood, but it's no longer working for you now, which is the main thing when it comes to, awareness. We find out the patterns that we have that no longer serve us. So in order to get through that, as I said, you're going to have to learn to do something completely different. I'm willing to bet it has something to do with how you relate to others, because you are in major conflict there. It has something to do with listening to yourself and listening to the gods, because we've got Ansuj coming, and we have a blocked emotional aspect in terms of your aspirations, your hopes. So this is resulting in you feeling like you just don't have any resources. Maybe you really don't have any money. Lack of money. Let me talk about that. When somebody has a lack of money in their life, it means that they are not following their true soul desire. They are in conflict with their own soul. And as a result, the universe is like, I'm not authorized to support this action. So it's not that anybody's stopping you from doing anything. It's just you don't have the resources to back it up. This is why, you could try some job or you work some job. There are people that work jobs that get 6 figures and somehow are still always in debt. And there are people who work minimum wage jobs that somehow seem to have everything that they need. Just the flow of resources is there or not. So when it comes to being poor, it means that you are choosing to continue to take actions, probably to gain reputation or gain love or approval or something along those lines, because that's really the conflict, is always doing what your soul wants or doing what society or somebody else wants, or what you think society or somebody else wants. And this happens on a very deep level. You have no idea that you're doing it. But anyway, so that's just a little off topic there. So now that I've looked at all of that, now I need to know what your focus was. So before we get to that, so you need to tell me what your focus was, if you had one. If you didn't have one, say you didn't have one. In the meantime, while you're writing that down, because there's a delay, we're going to watch yes, we'll talk about certifications for a couple minutes. So you are a spiritual seeker, a spiritual practitioner, and you want to work from home, you want to work for yourself, and like me, you want to make money doing something that you would do anyway. I have 2 avenues for you to make money doing what you would do anyway. The first is astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com. You can learn my specific, very unique niche of Vedic astrology, and then if you become certified, I will put you on the astrology.thunderwizard.com page, and people will see your beautiful face. They'll click on you and they can get a reading from you. Like I said, this is easily the most profitable service that I have in my arsenal for myself. Then you'll get your own webpage, joeschmo.thunderwizard.com, and people can go there when you want to give out readings. Now, if you have other things that you want to list on there too, you dog sit, you are a masseuse, you do tarot readings, I don't care what it is. As long as you give me the information, I'll put it on your page. People go to joeschmo.thunderwizard.com. They can see everything that you do. There's another way that you can make money as a ThunderWIzard.com student, and that is runereadings.thunderwizard.com. Same thing applies there. If you become certified, there's over 36 hours of rune videos that I have on there. All of my rune videos, both public and private, that you can learn from. If you become certified, then I will put you on the runereadings.thunderwizard.com page, and once again, you will get your own page, joeschmo.thunderwizard.com. If you're already an astrologer, you'll have your astrology information, your rune reading information, whatever other things that you want to promote for yourself. Listen, I am not here just to sit here and teach. I'm here to create teachers, and I'm here to teach people who are called to do so to make a good living, sharing the information that they would study on their own anyway. That's how I make my living. I can teach you how to do that. These are two ways to do it. So if you want to get started with that, go to astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com if you want to become an astrologer. If you want to become a rune reader, go to runecertification.thunderwizard.com. Okay, enjoy the video. All right, so we are back. And now let's take a look at his focus. So Gremnor Thomas did show up. He says, "Thank you. My current focus is that I had seizures in the past, and I want to know what I can do to heal this." And he says, "I've done heaven Qigong before earth before." I don't know what that means. Are you talking about my heaven earth Qigong? Or are you talking about some other kind of Qigong? So let's take a look at the rune reading there. So he says that his focus was that he had seizures in the past, and he wants to know how to heal this. Okay, so that's a very interesting question here. All right, so your seizures, I can already tell you, have to do with giving to other people. Remember, giving to other people also means taking from other people. It's a two-way street. When somebody gives to you, you open yourself up, you become vulnerable, you allow them to give you something. And that empowers you to give back. So sometimes to get something, you have to give. And you know, sex is the perfect example. When sex is good, the movements that you make to make yourself feel good are the same movements that making somebody else feel good. And then that spurs them on to move, which makes you feel good. And this is the ultimate, you know, gebo, giving back. You know, when you give, you get. So we've got conflict, which is a seizure. And so we already know that a lot of it has to do with your relationship to others. So one thing you're doing right is that in the East, you are really working to create your boundaries. So, but boundaries also represent being able to give and take as well. So, I mean, it's not reversed here. So if it were reversed, then I would be thinking that you had a problem allowing people to bowl you over or just walk all over you. You don't have that problem. You've worked hard to create your own boundaries, but you get locked up when it comes to giving to other people. This is rooted deeply into your unconscious, because here we have Nauthiz that says that, you know, the way that you're dealing with protecting yourself is not working. But if you can change the way you think about this issue, so whatever the emotional issue behind, you know, again, and Nauthiz represents being constricted. So that also tells me that your seizures, whatever other physical and medical reasons from a spiritual perspective, have to do with feeling constricted unconsciously. and what is that about? For that, I'd have to talk to you to find out. So here it says the actions in the south are to do energy work. So maybe that's why you said that you've done Heaven Earth Qigong before, right? So you've done Heaven Earth Qigong, so that means that Qigong is one of the main things that you can do to not only empower yourself, but to become conscious and to make that shift, which should help with your seizures. The elves are saying the same thing, that you need to give and receive. You need to learn how to have Gebo in your life. Up in the north, it may mean that you lock up every time you start to receive information, communication, because that's Ansu's reverse. It means that when communication is coming to you, it could mean that you lock up. And this could be part of it as well, that for some reason you may be afraid of being given information from the spiritual realm. Your emotions. Now, I could tell you this just about anything, but your emotions has a big issue here, because in terms of your aspirations, when you reach out for your future, because the northeast represents your future, the hopes that you have for the future, you your feelings are stuffed. You may feel sad, you may feel whatever it is you feel. You're not allowing yourself to have the feelings of hope, or when you think about your future, maybe you go through some guilt or you're not allowing yourself to go through that. And so this is locking you up. This is locking you up and helping to create the scenario for your for these seizures. But even if you're not having seizures now, I don't know, but I don't know what's changed for you, because you said in the past, right? You said in the past you had seizures. So maybe you're doing something now that's changing it. So anyway, to know more, this is why I would need to talk to you. So anybody who wants a rune reading, let's see, you would go to Rune Readings. You can't see my mouse. runereadings.thunderwizard.com, right there, if you want a rune reading, or if you want a rune reading from one of my apprentices. Right now I have 2 apprentices. One I'm going to be putting up probably tonight, but the other one is up. Mark Graham is already up. And so if you go to runereadings.thunderwizard.com, you can get a rune reading from me at my full price, or you can save yourself $100 and get a rune reading from them, or one of them. And they've been trained to do this exact method. Okay, they're different. They're different than me, but they have the basic understanding of this. So, all right. So there's the first rune reading. If you have anything else that you need to tell me, Graham nor Thomas, go ahead and tell me, and I'll apply that. Otherwise, I'm going to get to some questions here. For those that are new to the channel, I just want your questions. I do not want your editorial remarks. I do not need a cheering section. It gets in the way of my ability to answer people's questions. So please restrict your communication just to questions. Isis Blackfeather in the very beginning asked, will this be pertaining to the new year? No, as you can see, it was pertaining to whatever the question was for whoever asked. So let's see. Again, looking for the questions here. So again, if you're new to the channel, this is just a question and answer, so please write question, put your question in there, and I'll do my best to answer. All right, Cosmo Joe, question. I've been re-watching all of your views, I think he means videos and reviewing your system, and I was interested in Tyr. Is Tyr the North Star and equivalent of Shiva in the yoga system? Tyr is the North Star, yes. This is why his rune looks like an arrow, but it looks like the side view of a tent. And the tent has a pole, a center pole that goes up and keeps the roof on, right? So this is Tyr. He's that pole, the center pole. He represents the central channel, but he holds up the heavens. He's the pole star. That's why they call it the pole star. It's the pole star that holds up the universe, the pole. So yes, he originally was connected to the North Star. And is he the equivalent of Shiva in the yoga system? Well, Shiva represents the highest awareness, but bear in mind that there are multiple aspects of Shiva. So there can be, 12 aspects of Shiva depending on the signs in astrology. There's an avatar of Shiva for each one of the planets. So yes, generally speaking, yes, because Shiva is associated with the Northeast, which would be the highest ether, and that is one place I would put Tiu. I may have, early on in this ThunderWIzard path, I may not have known exactly where to put Tiu, but now I know exactly where to put him. He's in the Northeast. Northeast is the highest ether, the highest awareness, and this is what Tiu is. He represents the highest awareness. Jedi Black Knight question. Is the North Star the equivalent of what some refer to as the stellar gateway chakra? Again, I don't know anything about that. As you know, let me say it again, don't ask me questions about stuff that comes from another tradition, because I may say something wrong, but, I don't know anything about that. At around 18 inches above the head. You're talking about something that I'm not aware of. 18 inches above the head. If I don't know the answer, I don't know the answer. So I don't know the answer to that. Jedi Black Knight question. In Celestial Qigong, for those of you who don't know what that is qigong.thunderwizard.com, the second thing right here, qigong.thunderwizard.com. He is asking about that practice. While doing the pyramid meditation, is it normal for the hands to drift towards the left? No. And can we rest the hands on the thighs to avoid drifting to the left? I mean, you can, but the whole idea is to have to have it resting like that, it closes off the meridians here. You have to open up your underarms like you've got like a squash ball or a tennis ball or, a small ping pong ball underneath there. You don't want your arms directly against your side. You want them just a little bit open, and you see it creates that thing right there. So this is the pyramid meditation. If it's drifting to the left, that when I do that, it means that my right arm is pushing. So this means that just from that alone, it means that you're very left-brained. Remember, I'm constantly telling you to stop overthinking things. That is your left brain, your intellect. So the right side is also the protective side. You use it to protect yourself. The left side is the side that you use to bring things to you. If you're out there, cavemen, you got your child in your left hand and you got your spear in your right hand. That's why we're right-handed, by the way, because our ancestors, the majority of them, some of you aren't right-handed, the majority of them, threw with their right hand, and after doing that for tens of thousands of years, all of your babies are all right-handed. So that's why most of us are right-handed. But that also means that we're left-brained. It means we're trying to protect ourselves. This is why people who are right-brained are more creative, because they're more open, they're more vulnerable. People who are left-brained are very, more rigid in their thinking. They're trying to protect themselves. So no, it's not normal, and I don't recommend. I recommend that you keep your posture in the middle, the mudra in the middle, and when you feel this pushing, you feels like a drifting toward the left, but it's got to be a pushing. Your right hand has got to be pushing it. You're just not aware of it. This is something that you do in life. You're probably too aggressive. You push too hard. I'm not saying aggressive with people, but you probably try too hard to make things happen. This is a good trait. This makes people a proactive, somebody that works hard. I know that you work very hard. You're very disciplined, but it may mean that you push too hard, you try too hard. And so learning the balance is what this is trying to teach you. You need to balance the two hemispheres. So doing more of the yin-yang hands will help with that. All right. Donna Marie question, B333 question, perfected immortal phase 1. See, do I have that on here? I don't. Do I have it over here? Where do I have it? Anywhere? I don't think I do. All right, so the immortal, I've got to do something about that. Immortal.ThunderWIzard.com. I believe that's it. Immortal.ThunderWIzard.com is a practice that, again, people have been asking me for. And I've been talking about it for a long time. I've created phase 1. And I've had, I think, 2 people have bought it. So I want to create phases 2 and 3, but you guys asked for this. In fact, you begged me for it. So I need to see more interest in this, or I'm going to lose interest in teaching it. I don't want to teach you if you don't want to know. Don't worry, those who have it, I will take you as a private student if it comes down to that, and I'll teach you. So anybody who has learned phase 1, I will take you to phase 2 and 3 if you want to do that. But I would like to make this something to teach everybody. So immortal.thunderwizard.com. Phase 1 is how to empower the lower self, which is the main energy battery of the body. And so I teach meditations. When you get to levels 2 and 3, especially when you get to level 3, then what happens is you begin to be able to simply intend your reality and it manifests, in some cases immediately. And there's a whole system of how to do this. And this came from me studying a specific method of becoming an immortal, the method of holding the 3 ones, which is connecting all the 3 ones and being able to see them and experience them on a conscious, not just a meditative level, but on a conscious level, to be connected to all 3 of the 3 ones. And when you do that, when you perfect that, boom, you're supposed to transform and become an immortal. Now, obviously, I haven't done that yet, but when I learned that and started practicing that, I found the result of doing the exercise to do that gave me the ability to just simply intend my reality. So that's what I teach you. So if you're interested, go to immortal.thunderwizard.com. All right, now to your question. Rune meditation. Okay, so phase 1, part 3, Rune meditation. When trying to hold my eyelids 9/10 closed, they flutter heavily. Is that normal? Can I keep them fully open or just keep trying? You don't have to focus too much on that. If it helps you to close your eyes, close your eyes. If you want to keep your eyes open and just look at the mudra, you can do that. So don't get too caught up in the 9/10. 9/10 could be 3/4. It just means mostly closed, but you can keep them open if you want. Follow what works. Okay, so yeah. All right, let's see what else. What other questions we got? Let's see, where did we go? Okay, so Athena's son, if you want to ask a question, I need to see that because I almost missed it. So please write question and then, best way to deal with rune override, I don't know what that means. Put time into actually writing a full question with a subject, an object, like if I was standing in front of you. I know, you got phones and stuff and we're used to doing that, but this is part of the teaching. It's not just because I'm an anal retentive guy and want to control things, which I am. It's because I want to put you in the mindset of the student, and the student needs to be respectful when they're asking the higher self. You're not just asking me, you're asking the guides. And having a respectful mindset is helpful, and that means asking, a full question. That's part of being respectful. You don't walk up to people and throw half a question out. It's rude. So, best way to deal with rune override. I don't know what that means. When you pull for one thing, but the runes keep telling you about something else. Well, again, I don't know what you're doing. If you're doing a reading for yourself and you want the runes to tell you, yes, you're going to win the lottery, and you keep asking and it says, no, you're not going to win the lottery, what are you doing? I mean, how many times do you have to be told no? I mean, it's what I hear. You want me to tell you how to fix it so you can tell the runes to do whatever you want. It means that you're not objective. This is why it's not helpful to do rune readings for yourself. Do rune readings for others. Then you'll be a clear channel because you won't have an agenda. That's why you should pay, or excuse me, that's why you should charge. When you charge somebody money, you don't have an agenda. They've already paid me for their time. Hey, listen, I'm just telling you what the runes say. As opposed to, wow, she really wants me to tell her this and I want to sleep with her later, so I'm going to try and, gosh, the runes really are, they're telling you what you want to hear, sort of, I think. No, you have to be objective. You're there to help. So I do rune readings on myself too because I'm a human and I want to know stuff, but I'll be honest with you, you don't get accurate rune readings because your lower self has an objective. And your lower self is part of what happens when you do any kind of psychic work or any kind of divination. The lower self has to be free from all of that so it can receive from the higher self and give it to the lower self. In specific, when you're doing rune readings, the shuffling of the cards, it's your lower self that is determining which cards go where. You consciously aren't aware of it, but your unconscious mind is. Sometimes if you're like shuffling and a card will come flying out, that's your unconscious mind going, that's the card. So your unconscious mind can't give you true inspiration if you're focusing on your selfish desires. So stop doing readings for yourself, if I'm hearing you right. XL Johnson, if you have a question, I need you to write question, please. He says, whenever I tried to shamanic journey, I close my eyes and wind up not experiencing anything. To a drum track for 30 minutes. I try to relax into the beat and just let it happen, but I get nothing. What do I do? First off, let me ask you a question. Why are you doing shamanic journeys? And I don't know if this is coming from somewhere else. What kind of chemicals are you ingesting? Or do you drink? Do you do recreational drugs? Do you smoke weed? I want to ask you that. So my first question to you is, why are you doing it? Are you doing it because you want to have an experience? Are you doing it because you want to be spiritual? Are you doing it because you want to have fun? I'm not knocking any of those things. We've talked about this before, but I'll talk about it again. Shamanic journeying is a technique that was invented tens of thousands of years ago by the first human beings who did not have any kind of religion whatsoever. They were just evolving past being, monkeys, and they were evolving into being human beings, and they had started hunting. And they needed to do two things. They needed to find out where the herds of animals were. And also, now that they were hunting and killing animals, they weren't just scavenging, because before that, humans used to scavenge. Like hyenas. They would walk around. If there was a dead animal, they would, frighten away whatever animals were eating it, and they would feast on the carcass, usually the bones, and they'd get their protein from the bone marrow. But then they started hunting, and they started cooking food, and then they needed to know where the animals were. So they had a very strong need to find this out. A lot of people nowadays do shamanic journeying without a strong need. They're doing it for fun, or because they want to be spiritual, or they want to have an experience. They do it for the same reason that people take drugs or have sex or play video games. I'm not judging any of that. I'm just telling you the reality of it. If you don't have a strong need that is connected to your survival, there is a very good chance that your shamanic journey will either end up being like you, nothing will happen, or you will end up, getting wrong information because you'll give yourself a fantasy. So again, this is why people take drugs, why they take power plants. They want to be shocked into an experience because they don't have the ability to connect on their own. So my first suggestion would be, if you're going to shamanic journey, have a very clear focus. You didn't even say what your focus is. So if you're just closing your eyes and wanting to have a shamanic journey, if you don't have a clear focus, nothing's going to happen. It's like your phone. I mean, I can pick up my phone here, and if I don't dial in a number, nothing's going to happen. So you've got to have a clear request and intention to have an experience. And it's good to know what to do. Do I go and visit? Do I go and call for my spirit animal? Do I call for my spiritual guide to come and help me and to guide me? And do you know which world you're going to for what reason? See what I mean? So trying to relax into the beat and just let it happen is not going to do anything except relax you. So first off, find out what it is that you want. And if it's not something that is a real desperate need for your survival or your evolution, then again, it's not going to be an honest desire and nothing will probably happen. Okay? So when you say, what do I do? My next question is, why do anything? If you're not having an experience, it means that you don't need it, which means that you don't need to do it. I don't shamanic journey every day. And when I do, it's usually because I have something really serious that I just need help figuring out. That's how this whole path was created. I did a shamanic journey to find out where the Hul breath came from. This was given to me in meditation, again, because I needed something very badly, and it was given to me, and I didn't know where it came from. And I had a feeling that wherever this came from was going to connect me to the guides that were going to, and it started me on this whole journey, and I discovered, that I was being taught from my European ancestors. And that's what started this whole path, was a shamanic journey. But I had a really strong need to experience it. Okay, so I would want to talk to you more and ask you a bunch of questions, but we don't have time. Gert Van Zyl, question, do you still have free readings? We just did a free reading, so I don't know what you're asking me. Yeah, again, please avoid any editorial comments, you guys. Black Earth Productions. One second. Oh, I think I skipped somebody. Sorry, I'll get to you in a second, Black Earth. Please don't talk to each other either. Cosmo Joe, question. This may be presuming too much, but it seems that the ultimate objective is the purification of the three Dantians so that Tir Hole form a circuit. Is this the uniting the three ones ascension immortality? Number one, that's not really a question. That's a statement. This is the conclusion that you are coming to. You're asking me to co-sign that. I guess there's nothing too wrong with that. And it makes me want to ask you, why do you need to find out the ultimate objective? This goes back to your need to control and understand instead of just be in the moment and have the experience. You think, let's just say, Cosmo Joe, if I say yes, this is the ultimate objective, I know you're going to go, okay, now I know why I'm doing this, and then it's going to give you motivation to do it, but it's going to block you from the experience. Because now you're going to have an expectation, and you constrict, you think too much. And you want to codify it into the three Dantians and purifying the this and that. Who cares? Just do it. Just do it and don't have a need to know why or what the ultimate objective is. There is no ultimate objective. The ultimate objective is right here and right now. You're in it. You just don't realize it. But at the same time, if that's what you come to as the result, then I'm not going to tell you that's wrong, because you're having your own experience with the universe. But again, I have the same reaction. Just do it. Who cares what the objective is? I'm more experienced. I'm more interested in your experience, which you need to just open up and experience it and not have to know what the ultimate objective is. Okay? All right. Gert Van Zyl, I don't know what you're doing, but I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk unless you had a question. So I'm going to put you in a timeout. Black Earth Productions, question. What is the best method to do a simple question for a yes or no answer with the runes? Well, the most simple, and there isn't any one way. The runes are infinite. But the most simple one, in my experience, is just to take one rune and just ask the question. What will I get this or that? And the way that I do it is if the rune comes up right side up, then the answer is yes. And then you want to think about what the rune is saying, because that will tell you how you will get the yes. If it's upside down, then that's a no. That's how I do it. And then you get the ones that don't go upside down, and then, because the truth is that, imagine if you're, your own guide, and you come to your guide with a question about, who knows what. And there isn't a yes or no answer, but you want a yes or no. Does she love me? Does she not love me? Will I have a child? Or, and the answer may not be that simple. Then, you're kind of forcing the ascended masters to give you a yes or no, but they don't always do that. So I do it myself, so I know what you're talking about, but that's my experience, is that, trying to force the runes into a little box never really works very well, because they're not designed to do that. But thank you for the question. Isis Blackfeather question. There is a boy who claims to worship hell and is harming himself and his health on purpose because he says he was told by hell that she prefers people to die by illness, old age. I am scared for him, but I don't know how to help him or if to intervene at all. Well, that's obviously not something that I believe in. He's obviously very, very psychologically and emotionally damaged. So this comes down to codependence. If he is coming to you and asking for help, it is your job to help him in a, first off, you sound emotionally connected to him, which means that you can't be the one to help him. It's okay to worry about him, but, everybody has their own karmic issue. My brother's homeless. There's no reason for him to be homeless. He's doing it to himself. I could go to him and tell him exactly what to do so that he didn't have to be homeless, but he's not interested in anything I have to say. So I let him go. This is his life. This is his karma. Whoever this person is, this is their karma. They are obviously using hell and Hela to justify their own self-destruct. They're not a victim, is my point. This person is getting something out of the self-harm. You want me to see them like you do, as this victim. They're not a victim. I feel bad for them, but they are choosing to do that. What's happening is that this person is running away from something far, far more painful than whatever physical harm they're doing to themselves. Obviously, they have ideations of suicide. This person needs psychological help. So if you really want to help this person, if this person comes to you and wants to talk about this, well, let me back up. First thing is, don't ask them. The way that healing comes is people have to ask. That's why I keep telling people to ask me questions. Because it's not my job to drive up on you or email you or go and knock on your door. Because I know, Isis Blackfeather, I have some experience with you. I have a lot of things I think that you should do, but you haven't asked me. You're not my client or my student, so I'm not going to tell you what it is I think would help you, because I don't even know if you would want to do it. But if somebody comes and pays me money and asks for my help, I tell them what to do or what I think will be helpful for them. This person obviously is very damaged, and it's not your job to help them unless they ask. If they do ask, because you are so personally connected, meaning that you worry about them, means that you have an emotional agenda, which means that you are compromised. This is why, doctors can't operate on their own family, because they're emotionally compromised. You have to get somebody who's not their family. This is why, family members, even, psychologists and psychiatrists, they can't be the therapist for their children because they're emotionally compromised. You're emotionally compromised. So if this person comes to you and wants to complain about this or talk about how hell wants me to die and I need to cut myself and wants to do all that and pull you into that drama, your response needs to be this: I love you very much and I care about you. it's painful for me to watch you harm yourself, and I'm not going to do it anymore. If you want to be friends with me, you need to go talk to Dr. So-and-so, or you need to go get help. I don't want to be a part of this anymore. It's not because I don't love you, but because it's too painful for me. That is the kindest thing you can do for this person. Okay? You need to take care of yourself. Here's the other aspect of it. This person is a reflection of what's going on within you. That's why you're so worried about them. As you can tell, I'm not worried about that person. There's a clear-cut thing in my mind. I feel for them, but there's no way in hell I would get anywhere near that kind of craziness unless they paid me money to counsel them, in which case I would go there. But that's what they pay me for, to protect me and to protect them. You're not protected. The reason why you feel so strongly is because you also relate to what they're saying. You feel those same feelings about yourself. You feel a lot of that same victim mentality that they're feeling. That's why you so much want to help them, because you're projecting onto them what you want somebody to do for you. You want somebody to come and help you, to help you deal with that pain. And I know, because I'm no different than you. I felt the same when I lost my partner, when she died. I wanted somebody to come and save me because I was in a lot of pain, and I wanted to save others because I was in a lot of pain. Okay, so that's the first thing. And now the third part of it is, since this person has come up in your life and shown this, once again, I'm going to say to you, you need counseling. You need to go to somebody who can help you with this, with your life. I don't know a lot about you, but I already know enough from this. You've got codependent issues, and you've got some unresolved, deep unresolved pain. And you can't do it alone. You need help. If you want to go to my help, you can go to career.thunderwizard.com, but there are plenty of places to go. I recommend you go there. Thank you for the question, and thank you for being on the channel. Okay, there's enough of that. Let's see. I asked XJ Johnson a bunch of questions about why is he doing shamanic journeying, and he says, I want to get in deeper touch with my more spiritual self and meet my spirit guide and find my power animals. I don't drink, but I haven't smoked weed in a while. So you may need to spend some more time not smoking weed, because THC really screws up your ability to connect to your emotions. I'm sorry, any weed smokers out there. It's not a judgment, it's just a fact. THC, I could go into all the things that THC, how it damages the energy body. That's the other thing. If you're doing shamanic journeying, you need a strong energy body. And if you've been doing weed literally saps all the energy out of your aura. It just sucks it right out. So it works against you. So you may need to take some time to go through and let your body balance back and let the DMT and the other hormones in the brain to get the levels back up to normal. It may take a while. So that may be part of it. The other one is, I would recommend, instead of using shamanic journeying to get in touch with your spiritual self. I don't know what that means either. It means you feel disconnected from yourself. Meet your spirit guide and find your power animal. I can understand that as well, but I think what would be helpful for you is to go to where to go? Go to the bottom one here, astrology.thunderwizard.com. What will help you is to do a mantra to either your Ishta Devata or your Dharma Devata. This is the planet that wants to help you connect on a conscious level. And you can pray and talk to that deity. And that can be, you can do it consciously. And that will fill that void with you. It may be the Dharma Devata as well, but you can use that in place of the spirit guide, the power animal, because those are designed to guide you and empower you, and you are disempowered right now. And you're so disempowered that you're trying to do this shamanic journeying and you're not even able to connect. which means you're not connected to your need, which means you're disconnected, blah, blah, blah. So energy work is what you need to do. Shamanic journeying can be really helpful and very empowering, but it's usually you're really only able to do that if you have the power reserve to be able to do the journey. So you need to empower yourself. That's the first one. The second one is do the celestial Qigong. And as you saw, if you didn't see it already, I'll play it again. One of my students who does celestial Qigong talks about how when he started doing it, he was able to have visions. So you need the power to be able to have visions. So you need to be doing energy work, celestial Qigong, and get your mantra and ritual. That will help you as well. So those are my two suggestions for you. Skyclad Faye question. I hurt my back, so I'm laid out in bed, but I still want to do the whole breath. Please, can you help? How should I do it laying down? Just do it. Just the main thing about the whole breath is that you exhale out the nose and the mouth at the same time. That's it. It makes me want to ask you how you hurt your back, but I won't get into that. So that's it. You can just do it lying down. Just do it and just like you normally would. Hunwin Carlson, I did a reading. Yes, I did a free reading already. If you want me to do a reading for you, we've done the free reading for today. You can go to, where is it? You can go to Rune Readings, the top one there. Go to runereadings.thunderwizard.com and you can get a rune reading from me or from one of my apprentices. And you can ask that question. We'll be happy to help you with that. But yeah, I did the free reading earlier on in the video here. Cosmo Joe question, what is the best method of purifying the lower self? Again, what is with the extremes? Why do you need the best method? You know, I've given you a ton of different methods. There's the whole breath. There's any one of the meditations, the celestial Qigong meditations that focus on the lower Dantian, that will purify it. The heaven-earth Qigong will purify everything. Best method, find one that works. The best method is the one that you like doing the most, because that's the one you will do most consistently. That's the best method. And a question. NA. What is a good method to avoid deluding oneself with future fantasies? Meditation of any kind. Any one of the meditations that I give, it will help purify the lower self and help you stay connected so that all three selves can communicate. A good practical one is to learn how to take actions based on your consciousness as opposed to reacting to your feelings. Have all of your feelings and act with consciousness. Every time you do that, you purify yourself greatly. Every time you do that, you burn off past life karma. That's why discipline. You know, this is why when we go through challenging difficulties, we understand we're burning off karma. Because when you're going through challenging situations, just by definition, it means that you are acting in consciousness regardless of whatever, you know, stimulation or whatever impulse is coming through you. If you want to quit drinking, you have to work against the impulse to pick up the drink. And when you do that, every time that you resist that impulse to pick up the drink and you do something positive, you burn off karma and you purify your lower self, and then you see clearly. Your fantasies are a result of you not being honest with yourself. It sounds easy, but it's not. It makes me again want to ask you if you're doing any kind of drugs or power plants or anything like that. If you are, stop doing that immediately. That's the easiest way to delude yourself, is with power plants or drugs. Jules Verne question, are you going to move to Australia? I plan to go to Australia in June, but there is no, currently under the immigration laws, there is no visa for me. I would either have to marry somebody, or that's like the easiest one, or I would have to be incredibly rich and have at least $500,000 to invest. And then have a ton of money, then they'll let me in. Other than that, I would need to be 45 years old or younger and have a skill set that they're looking for. I don't get it either. I mean, I have this self-sustaining income. It doesn't matter where I work. I'm not going to take jobs away from anybody. I'm not going to sell products to anybody in Australia. I'm only going to come with my money and rent houses and buy food and buy surfboards. I'm going to put my money into their economy. Why the hell don't they want me to live there? Right now, I can only stay for 90 days at a time unless I try and go for a year. That's probably the longest. If I get a year visa, then that sort of puts me on this flag list, and then after a year I can't come back for 6 months, and or they may say you can't come back, and they put this clause of not being, and then I have to keep reapplying. So the easiest thing for me to do is just get the ETA travel visa, which is, I can pretty much automatically get that online. It means that I stay for 3 months and leave for 6 weeks and come back for 3 months and leave for a couple months and come back. And so my plan is to bounce back and forth between Australia and New Zealand, because New Zealand is very similar, until either something happens, the law changes, or I meet the love of my life. By the way, I'm only interested in the Sunshine Coast, so if any Australian women want to come and date me, you're going to have to go up to the Sunshine Coast, because I'm not going to go where it's cold. And yeah, and or unless I marry somebody. And somebody has asked me, has offered that to me, and I, in case she's watching, I haven't really responded. Yeah, that whole idea of fake marriages, and it's just a big deal. If I fall in love, I fall in love. But there's my answer to your question. I hope I answered it. So you guys can be meditating for me, because I still think I belong there. I mean, if I could choose a place to live, it would be right there in the Sunshine Coast. It's just perfect for me. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. At the very least, I get to have this experience. I'm going to give up everything I've got here, which means I'll only have my laptop, my surfboard, and whatever I can fit into a carry-on bag or a bag. And then I don't know where I'm going to live, but I'm going to keep doing this work. I'm just going to do this, and who knows? Maybe I'll surf all over the world, and who knows whatever the hell's going to happen. I'll keep you guys abreast of all that. Thank you for asking. Yeah. Gert Van Zyl, I keep telling you this, but I really don't want you to comment unless you're going to ask a question. It's very distracting. I'll give you one more time out. If you keep doing it, I'm going to hide you on the channel, which means that you can come to the channel, but you won't be able to type anything in or communicate. It's just distracting. It's not, yeah. All right, so Isis Black Feather thanks me. You're very welcome. You know that I do care about you, and that I'm interested in what's best for you. I'm a very direct teacher, and I know that I can really bother some people and hurt them and push their buttons. But even if, hopefully I'm constructive when I do it, but even when I'm not, and I'm working on it, I'm really honestly trying to be as helpful as I can. And tough love sometimes is the most helpful thing that we need. Athena's son, question: what is the appropriate age to start teaching your own child rune reading? I don't think that there's an inappropriate age. I mean, you can, the runes themselves are the alphabet. And so kids were taught the alphabet, Ansuj, and then in order to remember the ah sound and the letter, you would say Ansuz. Ansuz means communication. It means communication to the gods. And the little kid says Ansuz, communication to the gods, or whatever. That's what the rune poems were about. You memorize the rune poems. But you teach your kids how to talk. And so teaching them the alphabet and teaching them how to talk and how to spell is teaching them the runes. So there's no, as soon as you can. I think that there's nothing I think that would be a really beautiful thing to do. What an empowering thing. As soon as your kid is able to empower them with the runes, what a beautiful thing that would be. No, don't wait. If he wants to learn, teach him as soon as he is ready to learn. Did you say he? Yeah, he. As soon as he's ready to learn. Donna Marie question, is there a mudra specifically for Wunjo? Just because I don't know of it doesn't mean there isn't one. I'm sure there are some out there, like there's some rune hand seals out there. I haven't found one that, I haven't looked for one. So I haven't found one that works. So the short answer is, I'm sure there is, I'm not aware of it yet. All right, let's take a short break. We'll talk about Celestial Qigong for a couple minutes, and I'll come back, and if there are any more questions, I will answer them. Okay, be right back.
Me and my mom do it. It's like a protection spell. Yeah, I just want to thank you. This has really been good for me. Thank you.
What first caught my attention about Celestial Qigong was how incredibly simple and easy to do the moves were. My teachers taught me that the most advanced high-level energy work was always incredibly simple. I have been practicing and teaching Celestial Qigong for over 25 years, and listen, I could tell you what the benefits have been for me, but why don't I let you hear it from some of my students, average people just like you, who have been practicing this ancient and transformative energy practice that I call Celestial Qigong.
Hi, my name is Antonia, and I want to start with emphasizing that I'm not being paid for this testimony. I felt the benefits of it after my first session. But what really blew my mind was how powerful this practice is. Was one night when I was really sick, I caught a flu. I couldn't breathe, I was tired, I was fatigued, my bones were hurting. And after I was finished with my clothes down, the sickness was gone. I was no longer feeling tired or sick or fatigued. My bones weren't hurting anymore. I could breathe. I was energized and super happy, and it was like magic. It really was.
Hello, I'm Greg. I wanted to talk about Celestial Qigong and what it has done for me. And the first time I did it, and I think after about 3 or 4 movements, I remember this look on my face going, whoa, I'm feeling a lot of energy here. Wow, this is amazing. It really helped me to start having visions. I mean, I'm talking about actual visions right behind my closed eyelids. And it's just really amazing what it's done for me.
Hi, I wanted to make a quick video of a testimony of my experiences with Celestial Qigong, which have been nothing short of miraculous and amazing. It is a peace, a union, the ability to manifest what I want, that I am in true total control of my life. I am...
So you are a spiritual seeker, a spiritual practitioner, and you want to work from home, you want to work for yourself, and like me, you want to make money doing something that you would do anyway. I have 2 avenues for you to make money doing what you would do anyway. The first is astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com. You can learn my specific, very unique niche of Vedic astrology, and then if you become certified, I will put you on the astrology.thunderwizard.com page, and people will see your beautiful face. They'll click on you and they can get a reading from you. Like I said, this is easily the most profitable service that I have in my arsenal for myself. Then you'll get your own webpage, joeschmo.thunderwizard.com, and people can go there when you want to give out readings. Now, if you have other things that you want to list on there too, you dog sit, you are a masseuse, you do tarot readings, I don't care what it is. As long as you give me the information, I'll put it on your page. People go to joeschmo.thunderwizard.com. They can see everything that you do. There's another way that you can make money as a ThunderWIzard.com student, and that is runereadings.thunderwizard.com. Same thing applies there. If you become certified, there's over 36 hours of rune videos that I have on there. All of my rune videos, both public and private, that you can learn from. If you become certified, then I will put you on the runereadings.thunderwizard.com page, and once again, you will get your own page, joeschmo.thunderwizard.com. If you're already an astrologer, you'll have your astrology information, your rune reading information, whatever other things that you want to promote for yourself. Listen, I am not here just to sit here and teach. I'm here to create teachers, and I'm here to teach people who are called to do so to make a good living, sharing the information that they would study on their own anyway. That's how I make my living. I can teach you how to do that. These are two ways to do it. So if you want to get started with that, go to astrologycertification.thunderwizard.com if you want to become an astrologer. If you want to become a rune reader, go to runecertification.thunderwizard.com. Okay, enjoy the video. All right, let's see if we have anything left, any other questions. Otherwise, I may just call it an evening here. Okay, I don't see any more questions here. So, one other thing before we go that I want to share is there are programs, and I don't know where to find them, but somebody who lives in Utah contacted me, and apparently there is a program in Utah for people to study for, I don't know, businesses or small businesses or something like that. And I haven't gone through it all because I'm trying to figure out what it is, but I got contacted by somebody who is checking to see if bottom line is this, is that there are ways that you can get, I think, state governments to fund like 40%. So in other words, 40% of what it costs to become a rune reader, she's trying to get this done through the state and through, I think it's an outside entity that works for the state or something like that. So I don't want to do anything that's going to get me into trouble, so I'm thinking about it. But look into where you live and see if there is some programs that allow you to get funding so that you can get compensation to go and pay for certification or pay for learning. That's what it's for. It gives you money, so in case you have to pay money to go learn a skill or get certified for something for a business, you can get it. So anyway, like I said, I haven't decided, if she's watching, I haven't decided yet what I want to do about that. But that's an interesting thing to think about. And I guess the reason why I'm bringing that up is just because, for somebody to do that, to go and find that, means that they're committed to finding ways. If they say, I don't have enough money, I can't do it, they're not stopping there. They're like, well, I'm going to find a way to get the money. That is the attitude you need. So by the way, if anybody's thinking about becoming certified with me, first off, you got to take it seriously. Don't expect just because you come on here and I put you on my page that that's going to magically make you money. Doesn't work like that. What happens is that when you come, I am going to keep telling people, go to runereadings.thunderwizard.com and astrology.thunderwizard.com. I'm going to keep telling people to do that. But something happens when you put the discipline into, this is why having your own page is important, because when you have you know, if I had mike.thunderwizard.com and I had my own page with all of the stuff that I do, which I have to do for myself anyway at some point, I'm too scattered, then you have to go do something with that. You make business cards, and everybody that you talk to, you know, so what are you doing these days? Oh, I'm doing rune readings, or I'm doing astrology. Oh, really? Yeah, here's my card. How much does it cost? Just go to my website. That'll explain everything. I do that all the time. I don't know why people do that. I give them the links, and I say, if you want a reading from me, go here. If you want a private session from me, go here. And then they'll email me and they'll say, how much is the reading? And I'll say, go to the website. That way I don't have to talk about money. And I don't get into the, you know, when people are in resistance, they want to complain about money. I understand, because I've done it. So when people ask you, how much is it? And you say, oh, it costs X amount. And they go, oh, really? I don't have that. And then you're in this, you're getting pulled into their garbage. Now you want them to rise up to you. So whenever I have somebody that's working underneath me, I have them charge $108. Now, you can do specials. So if you really want to promote yourself, you know, and I don't care, you can decide to give 50 or 75% off for the month of so-and-so. I've done that all the time. That's what got me on the map in terms of astrology, is that I started, you know, and I was charging less then, and I would do half-price specials for the month of. And people bought them like crazy. You know, it didn't matter. It was like $20 or $50, and it really doesn't mean anything. But for some reason, because people think it's a special, you know, I'm really getting something. So doing those kinds of things, whenever, you know, go to bookstores and say, can I leave my business card here? Put your business card up on the college bulletin board. You know, always looking for ways to promote your business. Those are the people that are going to make money. And that does more than that. It kickstarts something in the universe, and the universe takes you seriously. You know, look at me. I am a ruthless self-promoter, and I'm getting more ruthless, as you can see. And it's going to get even more ruthless, because I need money to go to Australia and surf, and I need to be able to afford to rent a place on Airbnb, and I need to be able to afford to rent a car, which is hugely expensive. And so, man, I am not going to deny myself anything. And whatever it takes for me to keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to make money doing it. So the point I'm trying to make is that what you really pay for the certification is that page, because I will maintain that. And every time that you know, get a new skill, you become a masseuse, you become, I don't know, you become a pet psychic. I don't care what the hell it is. You email me and you say, here's a new link, put this on my webpage, and I'll put it on your webpage for you. You still have your joeschmo.thunderwizard.com, which means that every time I point up to it, people are going to, you know, have the opportunity to see your face on there. And so you got me working for you selfishly, because every time that you make a sale, by the way, no, the money doesn't come through me. I don't, you know, you could be totally ripping me off and I'd never know. And I'm stupid for even saying it. But if you have your own web page, you're going to have your own PayPal button that I put on there. It goes directly to you, and then it's on your honor to then give me $25. You know, you get $108. You give me 25 of that because I'm hosting it. If you want to lie to me and keep the money for yourself, then you're the one that has to live with that karma. Like my partner said once, you know, and I love her for it. And I was asking her about something that I wanted to do, and it felt kind of shaky. And she said, "You're the one that has to live with it." I love her. She was just so great. So you're the one that has to live with it, but you know, this is your business, really. And it only helps me, because if the more people that get readings on, you know, that's just free money for me. I get $25 every time you get a reading. So anyway, there's that. Enough of the self-promotion. Let's see if there's any more questions, and if not, then I will call it an evening. Yeah, I don't see any more questions here. All right then, so that's it for me, my friends. We'll talk tomorrow about who knows what, but anyway, thank you for being here. You guys help me every time you allow me to just vent and to talk. It helps me so much, and the great thing is that it seems to help you, because I don't know why the hell you would want to sit here and listen to some guy spout like I do, but it does something for you, and it's a win-win for both of us. and I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity. So that's it for me. I will talk to you guys another time. See, what do I want to end on here? Let's just end with what we should end with. Okay. Talk to you guys, God willing, I'm going to go surfing tomorrow, so God willing and the creek don't rise, and if I'm not too tired, I'll see you tomorrow night.
My name is Maclovia. I have been practicing celestial Qigong for about 6 months because I was having depression. It has connected me to my higher self. My 9-year-old does it with me, and he says every night, "Mom, Qigong was good tonight."
Every night, me and my mom do it. It's like a protection spell. Yeah, I just want to thank you. This has really been good for me. Thank you.